What up? Oh, this is terrible. Terrible camera angle. Oh, okay. All right. No, this is still bad. What the Okay. Hi. Welcome back to my bit. Okay, let's just get started. All right. Next film on the list: The Shining and The Shining. Two different versions. This is the edited version. There's some scenes missing in this, so I did not like this version. I got it in Mexico. I thought it was going to be the full version, but it wasn't. So I bought this at Target for $5. It was around Halloween time. It's not on Blu-ray, but still, it's still the original movie. No cutscenes, no nothing. Every scene is in it. I really like the cover art on this. Another Stanley Kubrick movie, one of the great Stanley Kubrick films, one of the greatest horror movies ever made. The Shining, I love The Shining. So much symbolism, so much unanswered questions. So good, you know. Stanley Kubrick, man, I wish he directed more horror movies. But I mean, a lot of his films feature horror-like elements. Well, more like things that make you feel uncomfortable. And this film does make you feel uncomfortable, but it's also pretty terrifying. It's very psychologically disturbing, and it's very tense, and it's very draining. The characters are going crazy, especially the main character of Jack Torrance. He's going crazy, and and he starts seeing things. Just the way Stanley Kubrick uses a camera, and the way he shows off horror and presents it is genius work. Originally when this movie came out, people hated it. Now it's one of the most beloved horror movies of all time. Stephen King still hates it. This was based on his book, I believe, and not short story, but it was based on his book with the same name, The Shining, and he hated it. He still hates it, and yeah, I never read The Shining, but I love this movie. But I've heard, I don't know from who, maybe from Chris Stuckman or someone, but someone who's read. I've heard from people who've read the book and seen the movie that they're both equally great and distinct. And that's like, just like that's really cool. So none is better than the other, because from what I hear, they're both equally great. And this is just great. Haven't seen it. Creepshow. It's an anthology film. I know there's like a series on Shudder or something. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Yeah. Ooh, Ted Danson's in this, and Ed Harris, Leslie Nielsen, Adrienne Barbeau. I haven't seen it, but I will. Children of the Corn. I haven't seen this movie yet, but I know I'm familiar with a couple of images from this movie. Those children look terrifying. This is based off a Stephen King story. And also this one too. It's a lot of Stephen King stuff. Wait for that. Get Out. This is Jordan Peele's first feature-length film, and gosh, what a feature-length debut this was. This is so good. It's a horror movie, but it's much more of a social thriller, and it's so good. It's such a tense, terrifying film with a lot of symbolism, so much analysis, so much deeper meanings, it's so rich and just it's so rich in story and then symbolism and then meanings. Very similar to like Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. But yeah, Daniel Kaluuya gives a great performance as Chris Washington. He was nominated for Best Actor, which is well deserved, especially in that hypnotism scene where the teacup. Great scene. Yeah, man, Jordan Peele, man. Who knew, man? Who knew, man? I've only seen a couple of sketches from the Key and Peele show, but yeah, I never. When I first heard of this movie and I was like, Get Out, Jordan Peele from Key and Peele, I was like, not interested. But then I heard how great this movie was, and I was like, all right, I'll check this movie out. And then I watched it, and I was like, this movie's so good. Everyone was saying this movie's so great, so funny, so good, full of symbolism and deeper meanings, hidden meanings. And then I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And then I was like, I 100% agree. This movie is so good. It's an original. It says, Get Out is a true original, grimly tense, and in tune with its time. Very true. And yeah, this movie is very prevalent to today's times. It deals with a different type of racism that's prevalent in America. If a white guy from an upper class, if a white guy is talking to an African American man and they say to him, "Oh, I would have voted for Obama for a third term," just like in the movie, that's like, like it's a different type of racism that's subtle but very, you're just bringing to light their color of skin, how like, oh yeah, because you're black, I would have voted for Obama a third term. Yeah, where if it was another white guy, they wouldn't say that to another white guy. They wouldn't be like, I would have voted for Obama a third term. A lot of people are like that. It's very prevalent. And very ballsy movie. Best Picture nominated, I believe. Yes. And well deserved. Very good movie. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Yeah. And Lakeith Stanfield's in it. He's another one of my favorite actors. Yeah. He's in Atlanta. He was in Death Note. He's in Sorry to Bother You. He's in a whole bunch of movies. Yeah, I love Lakeith Stanfield. Yeah, he's great. He's great. And yes, I agree. He should play the Joker. He would be great. Yeah. Us. This is Jordan Peele's second feature-length film, and this is a horror movie, but this is a different type of horror movie. This is more of a monster type movie. I mean, it deals with doppelgangers, and the idea of doppelgangers is always such a freaky and creepy thing to me and to a lot of people, and I think to Jordan Peele as well. Obviously, it is. I mean, he made them. He made them the horror monsters of the film. Lupita Nyong'o, she is great. She gives a great performance as Red and as the mother. I forgot her character's name. Another very good Jordan Peele film. Not as good as Get Out, but still very good. Very rich with symbolism and hidden meanings. A lot of double meanings, and yeah. That's what I love about Jordan Peele, his use of symbolism and how he approaches it, and it makes you more invested with the film, because you're just like, you want to read analysis of this film and you want to analyze the film yourself, and you're just like, what does this mean? What does this mean? That was very much me when I watched this in the movies and when I watched it in the movie theaters. And yeah, sorry, spit on it. But yeah, very good movie. I highly recommend it. Very good follow up to Get Out. Halloween, directed by John Carpenter, and it's the first Halloween movie in the Halloween series. And it stars Jamie Lee Curtis. And yeah, I haven't seen this movie. I haven't. I'm gonna wait till Halloween time to watch this. I bought this last year around Halloween time to watch it, but I never did. I've seen the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, which I liked. They're very grimy. I don't know how to describe it, but I still liked it. Yeah, man. I heard this movie is really good, and it's a classic. So yeah, I gotta watch this around Halloween time, of course. Next up is my Evil Dead collection, except I don't have the remake, nor do I have the 3 seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead. Excuse me. I have the first season and the 3rd season of Ash vs. Evil Dead on digital, and I have like 2 episodes of season 2 on digital. So yeah, I'm gonna buy it someday. I don't know when. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Evil Dead series. There's Sam Raimi. This is Sam Raimi's baby. This is Bruce Campbell's baby as well. I just love the Evil Dead, man. The first one is like straight up a horror movie, but with some humorous elements in it. Evil Dead 2 is a mixture of horror and comedy, a great combination, the best of both worlds, as many people have referred it as. And Army of Darkness is just a crazy, funny fantasy action film. Bruce Campbell is another one of my favorite actors of all time, and Ash Williams is one of my favorite characters of all time. If you're familiar with my series Chill Level, there's a lot of inspiration from the Evil Dead and Sam Raimi. Yeah, man. Sam Raimi. Also Sam Raimi is one of my favorite directors of all time, and yeah, I have a lot of favorite actors and directors. I love the Evil Dead series. Evil Dead 2 is probably my favorite, or maybe Army of Darkness. Still not sure. Evil Dead, the remake by Fede Alvarez, is pretty good as well. One of the better horror remakes out there. Ash vs. Evil Dead, the TV show, so good, so great. I love the TV show. I recommend, watch the movies first, then the TV series, because the TV series is a sequel to the original trilogy. You can skip the remake, but also I would recommend just watch all 4 of them and then the TV show. Yeah. Also, they're coming out with a new Evil Dead movie, which is pretty exciting. I think it's called Evil Dead Now, or maybe they changed it to Evil Dead something. Evil Dead Now, of course. I'm excited. I love Evil Dead. I love Bruce Campbell. I love Ash. I love Chainsaw. Groovy. Yeah. Next up, what the hell is this? Next up is my Chucky collection. Child's Play and Child's Play 2 and 3 and Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky. I don't have Curse or Cult of Chucky yet, or the remake. I heard the remake was pretty good. I haven't seen it. I think it's on Hulu right now, so I might watch it. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Chucky series. I love Chucky. Chucky's my favorite horror villain. Ash is my favorite horror hero. Yeah. Funny thing is, I used to be frightened of Chucky. Every time I see Chucky's face or the DVD cover, especially this DVD cover, this specific DVD cover. I will always get scared. I would just like walk the other way around just not to see Chucky, you know. And I think the first film, I think this was the first movie I've ever watched. Like, from what I can remember. Yeah, my dad showed it to me at a very young age. I was like pretty young, maybe 5 or 4. I remember watching it. Yeah, I love Chucky. I think my favorite Chucky movie would have to be the first one. I love all of them, even Seed of Chucky. Even Child's Play 3. A lot of people don't like that one, but I like it. I like that movie. I really do. Yeah, the first one is like the darkest one out of all of them. Cult of Chucky's pretty damn good. It's great to see Andy Barclay again. And I love Andy Barclay, man. He's one of my favorite horror heroes and one of my favorite characters of all time. Yeah, his rivalry with Chucky, his relationship with Chucky is so unique and weird and twisted. Curse of Chucky's pretty good as well. Seed of Chucky's just crazy, man. Bride of Chucky's so hilarious. Child's Play 3's darker than Child's Play 2, and silly, kind of campy, but still a good time in my opinion. Child's Play 2, one of the best Chucky sequels, pretty good as well. Yeah, Child's Play, a very good horror movie, one of my favorites. Classic. Brad Dourif he's great. Okay. Next up is Trick or Treat. This was a direct to DVD movie. I think originally it was gonna go to theaters, but then they decided not to because they didn't think it was gonna make money. Yeah, I think Chris Stuckman said that. I think he reviewed this movie and he said, yeah, this movie should have gone to theaters, and I agree. This is a horror Halloween anthology movie, and it's very good. It's not scary, but it's violent, but it's such a good time. You'll have fun with this movie. It's fun. It's funny. It's very, it's just a fun Halloween movie. It's a great Halloween movie to watch. Next up is A Quiet Place. John Krasinski from The Office, who directed his first feature-length film, and it stars John Krasinski and Emily Blunt and other people as well. This is a very good horror movie as well. Just from the start of it, the whole concept is very unique, and when you start watching the movie, man, what a way to start a movie. I won't spoil it, but it's pretty ballsy. I mean, it's ballsy, but it's like, it's not unfamiliar to horror movies. Very good movie, John Krasinski. I can't wait for A Quiet Place Part 2. I can't wait what else he's gonna direct, what else he's gonna make. Yeah. If you can't tell, I'm a big horror movie fan. So, yeah. Alright. It, the original miniseries. I'm so sorry. The original miniseries that starred Tim Curry as Pennywise the Clown, the dancing clown. Yeah, I've seen parts of it, and I've seen clips of it on YouTube with, Pennywise and Tim Curry as Pennywise. Yeah, just from what I've seen, Tim Curry is great as Pennywise. He's so good. He's so charismatic, yet demented and crazy, and just like, it's just like, Yeah, man, I get why people are scared of clowns. Tim Curry. Yeah, give it up to him. But yeah. Speaking of which, It Chapter 2. I saw It Chapter 1. I don't have it. I don't own it yet. But I love It Chapter 1. Terrifying movie. I mean, I wasn't scared, but it's a terrifying movie. Bill Skarsgård is great as Pennywise. Very different, very unique from Tim Curry. And also, it's a pretty funny movie. The kids, the Losers Club, they're great. They're very funny and charismatic. It Chapter 2, I watched it and then I paused it. It's been 8 months. Yep. Yeah, like I said, I do this with a bunch of movies. It's not because I hated the movie or because it was boring or anything like that. I do it with a bunch of movies. Like I'll pause it and then I'll forget about it, and then I'll move on. But so far, from what I've seen, I really like the adult cast. Bill Hader, I love Bill Hader. He's great. Yeah, and Bill Skarsgård is amazing as always as Pennywise. Yeah, great cast for the adults. I love the younger versions. The Losers Club from the first film, but the adult Loser Club is pretty great as well. But yeah. Yep. I will finish it. I just don't know when. I got a wedgie. Alrighty. Okay. Alright. Hereditary, directed by what's his name? Ari Aster. This is his first feature-length film, I believe. He made that short film, something about the Johnsons, I believe that's what it's called. It's a very twisted film, very twisted short film. It's fucked up. I have not seen this movie yet, but I heard it's great, and I bought it because I wanted to watch it, and I still haven't watched it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it today. But yeah, this is from A24, and A24 is like, they always produce great films, man. A24. I mean, let me think of what's an A24 movie? Can't remember. I did watch Ari Aster's second film, Midsummer, which is pretty good. Twisted. It's very messed up. It's very psychologically disturbing. I highly recommend it. Yeah, but I haven't seen this film yet, so sorry, I'm itchy. Very itchy. Okay. All right. Sinister, directed by Scott Derrickson. This is a good horror movie. Scott Derrickson is very good with horror. I remember, just from the opening to this film, you could already tell you're gonna be in a very disturbing ride for the rest of the film. Yeah, this is one of the few films that have made me jump in my own seat. There was this part in the movie where there's like a lawnmower, and that's all I'll say, but it made me jump. I was not expecting that. I was like, oh, fuck, what the fuck? Yeah, and it was pretty terrifying. Yeah, but yeah, highly recommend it. Scott Derrickson, he directed Doctor Strange and The Day the Earth Stood Still and a bunch of other films. Yeah. Never seen this movie. I don't know what it is. Creepy little girl. Okay. All right. Wait, hold up. Hold it. Hold the phone, yeah. Okay. What should I show you next? I think. Let me show you this. Twin Peaks, the complete series, seasons 1, 2, and 3, or as season 3 is also known, Twin Peaks: The Return. I fucking love Twin Peaks. David Lynch is a genius. This was co-created between Mark Frost and David Lynch, and Twin Peaks is one of the greatest TV series of all time. Season 2, definitely. But then, you know, those final episodes, those final like 2 episodes of season 2, like, yeah. And then season 3 is just like, I mean, first season alone is just like, but yeah, I love Twin Peaks. It's one of the most surreal, greatly acted, terrifying, funny, and charismatic shows or one of the most charming shows that you'll ever watch. You know, it's terrifying. It's well acted. It's greatly acted. It's funny, and it's very charming. Very surreal. I love this show so much. I love Twin Peaks. I love Kyle MacLachlan, another one of my favorite actors of all time. I love David Lynch, and I love what Mark Frost and David Lynch did together. Yeah, this is not the Blu-ray. Should have gotten the Blu-ray. This was like $60, I believe. But it was still worth it. It's still worth it, man. I love Twin Peaks, you know, and I love the movie as well. Speaking of the movie, speaking of the movie, I was going to show you my David Lynch collection, but you know, might as well now. This is Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me. This is a prequel to the TV series. It's a movie, and it stars how did I forget her name? What's her? How do Cheryl Lee. Filmed by David Lynch, Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me. Cheryl Lee. Stars Cheryl Lee as Laura Palmer. She gives a great performance in this movie as Laura Palmer. This is, I believe, in my opinion, one of David Lynch's most underappreciated film, whatever. If not his most underappreciated film. You know, when this film played at Cannes, I believe, Cannes Film Festival, it was booed. People hated it. Quentin Tarantino even hated it. It was like David Lynch went so far up his ass, and I was like, what? And then I watched it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this movie's amazing. What are these people talking about? This movie is very different. Is much more darker, much more sinister and surreal than the first 2 seasons of Twin Peaks. Season 3 of Twin Peaks is much more in line with the movie. But yeah, this movie is very heartbreaking. It's emotional. It's terrifying. It's surreal and well acted as well. It's a depressing movie as well. I think this film is I would say a masterpiece. This film is a masterpiece. So good. Yeah, I love it so much. But speaking of okay. Speaking of David Lynch, as I said, Inland Empire. I have not seen this movie yet, but I should, because I love David Lynch. I heard it's really good, but yeah, Laura Dern stars in it, and also it's very unique because it was shot on a Sony camcorder from 2006, and or 2007, whenever it was filmed. But yeah, I mean, I love David Lynch. Blue Velvet, directed by David Lynch, and it stars Kyle MacLachlan and oh my gosh, how did I forget her name? Isabella. Excuse me. Isabella Rossellini, Dennis Hopper, and Laura Dern. Yeah, what can I say? Great film. So good. This movie's so good, man. I love this movie. So good. It's, it's not like David Lynch's later films where they're more surreal, but nonetheless, this film is a great drama film. It's very erotic. It's great crime drama film. It's a great, how do I describe it? It's a great thriller. It's surreal. It definitely has David Lynch's surrealism, but it's very dark. It makes you feel uncomfortable, you know. I recommend watching this at night. It helps to enhance the experience more. So it's a great crime drama film. Thriller. Thriller. Great erotic thriller. Or I don't know how to describe this film. It's so good. There's crime elements in there, surrealism, eroticism, whatever you call it. It's a great erotic thriller. It's a better description. Mulholland Drive, directed by David Lynch as well, stars Naomi Watts and Laura Herring. I knew her name. This is considered by many as one of David Lynch's best film, if not his greatest film. A lot of people say Eraserhead, or Elephant Man. I don't know, maybe Elephant Man. Yeah, this movie does take its time, but it's definitely worth it. Just the acting alone is so good. I mean, Naomi Watts is so freaking great in this movie. This whole film, David Lynch's direction, his approach to this movie, this is like David Lynch's Hollywood. This is David Lynch's interpretation of Hollywood and what he thinks of it. I mean, that's what it is. And Laura Herring gives a great performance. Of course, it has David Lynch's signature surrealism. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. This is one of my favorite David Lynch films, if not my favorite. But it's kind of hard to compete. But yeah. If you can't tell, I'm a big fan of David Lynch. And also, if you're familiar with my main channel, Chill Level TV, you can obviously tell there's a lot of David Lynch inspiration in my videos, especially my series Chill Level. Obviously, I was inspired by Twin Peaks and Simpsons and The Office and whole Cowboy Bebop and the whole combination of series. But yeah, recently I've been watching David Lynch's Dune. So far, I really like it. Visually, it's great. It's kind of hard to follow. It's kind of like you're not really, you kind of don't get it. What the film, like what some of the stuff they talk about, but I really like it. Visually, it looks fantastic. I really like it so far. But yeah, I know David Lynch does not like that movie, and he hates it. He disowns it. But yeah, I can't wait for the new Doom movie, directed by Denis Villeneuve and starring Timothée Chalamet. Who's great and amazing. And yeah, I haven't read Dune, but hopefully I can buy the book. I would like to read Dune. I heard how great the book is, and it's considered one of the greatest science fiction books of all time, if not the greatest. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up is my Marble Hornets collection. Now, if you're not familiar with Marble Hornets, I'll give you a quick explanation. Marble Hornets is a YouTube series. It's on YouTube. It's for free. You can check it out. And it's about Slenderman. But, he's not called Slenderman in the series. He's known as the Operator in the series. And I haven't seen the whole series, but but the stuff that I've seen, I love. It's so good. It's very terrifying. It's very psychologically disturbing. It's very tense. Good acting. Great atmosphere. Just a lot of it's a mystery horror series. The best I could describe it as is a mystery horror series. It's very good. It's very terrifying. And I bought the series because, it not only combines this, it not only has the series, because there's so much videos. Like, there's the main series, the Marble Hornet series, and there's also this second channel where there's like these videos that correlate with the series, and it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just in chronological order, where everything is in order, so you can watch it with ease. Like, so like it's like, I don't know. It's like an RPG, a role playing game, but like in video form. It's like, and it's one of the most popular RPGs on YouTube, and yeah. And I wanted to get it because I could have watched it for free on YouTube, but I wanted to get it because, I thought, because I was like, I want to own Marble Hornets on DVD, and I do, and I'm so proud of it. And also, I got one of the creators, or the main creator, to sign it, and it was like for an extra $5. It's totally worth it. He signed it. I'm very proud of it. But yeah. I just wanted to get it because it just combines everything that relates to the series, because there's a bunch of videos, and then there are these other related videos, and there's like tweets, and I think they added the tweets in here too, so that chronologically it'll run smoother. I don't know if any of that made sense, but yeah. I would recommend checking out the series. You can buy it if you want. I would recommend buying it because chronologically everything is in chronological order, so you can watch everything with ease and not have to be confused. So wait, so what video do I watch next, or what is it? You know what I mean? Maybe I don't know. I'm probably not making sense, but it's free. It's on YouTube. It's free. It's free on YouTube. It's Marble Hornets, a great series. I haven't seen the whole series, but the stuff that I've seen, I love. So yeah, please check it out. There's also a movie based on the series. I heard it's terrible. I wouldn't recommend watching the movie, so watch the series. It's definitely engaging, so I would definitely recommend watching it. Okay, enough of that. Talk too long. Okay. Whoa. Okay, man. All right. Next up is my Quentin Tarantino collection. Quentin Tarantino is one of my favorite directors of all time, and you can tell. Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill Volume 2, Django Unchained. I got this, this is a bootleg, and you know the picture quality is terrible. You can see pixels and all that. It's yeah, I need to get a new one. But yeah, I own it. And yeah, sort of own it. I mean, it is mine, but it's like I just I don't like the picture quality. And of course, Quentin Tarantino's most recent film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, who won Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars last year, I believe. Uh, yeah, I love Quentin Tarantino. He's one of my favorite directors of all time. He's so unique. He has a strong, particular style. Yeah, I love all his films. The only Quentin Tarantino movie I haven't seen is Death Proof with Kurt Russell. So I need to check that out. Um, I have Inglorious Bastards on digital, and I have Kill Bill Volume 1 on digital as well. So, so I own it, but not on physical media. And I think I'll get them on physical media one day on Blu-ray. But yeah, yeah. I think I think my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie would have to be Inglourious Bastards. My second favorite would have to be Kill Bill Volume 1, and then my third would have to be Django Unchained. Yeah, yeah. And then Pulp Fiction, and they're all good. This one's very good as well. It's not my favorite, but it's very good. It's very good. I saw this in theaters. This was my first Quentin Tarantino movie that I ever saw in theaters, so I was pretty excited, and I loved it, man. Especially the ending of that film is just definitely worth the price of the ticket. It's definitely worth the ticket, but you shouldn't go. You shouldn't buy a movie ticket. You shouldn't. I mean, the movie's not in theaters anymore, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't watch the movie just for the ending. Watch the movie in completion. It's very good. Leonardo DiCaprio's, he gives a great performance. So does Brad Pitt. Everything about this movie is very good. It's very reminiscent to those early 1960s hangout movies, where I think Chris Stuckman said it. Someone said it where, Chris Stuckman said that, or someone said it, that this movie feels like a hangout movie where the characters are just hanging out and you're just spending a day with the characters, and that's pretty much what it is. It's very reminiscent to those 1960 films where the characters would just go hang out at the pool, dance, and that's very much what this film is. And very rare for a movie director to do that, and that's why it's very appreciative. That a lot of people appreciate Quentin Tarantino for that. He and not a lot of directors are given that opportunity to do whatever they want, and Quentin Tarantino is one of the few exceptions. But yeah, this is his second to last film, because apparently his 10th film is his last, supposedly. But if he's gonna finish with movies after 10 movies, yeah, he's definitely left behind a legacy. Yeah. Oh yeah, and Hateful Eight is pretty good Western. Not as good as Django Unchained, but it's it's a great whodunit mystery. But yeah. I just love Quentin Tarantino, man. Alright, I think it's time now to show you my other collection. Alright, let me show you my other, this isn't it. Okay, there we go. This is my DC movie collection. I also have, where is it? Hold up 1 second. Hold up 1 second. All right, cool. All right, my DC film collection. All right, Batman '89. I have on VHS. Batman the movie, starring Adam West and Burt Ward. Of course, a movie adaptation of the 1966 series. And the rest of my DC series. Sorry, my hands are. I washed my hands. All right. I got Batman Returns, Batman vs Superman, which I really like. Suicide Squad. I like this movie. I gotta be honest. I like this movie. I mean, you've seen my Suicide Squad poster in the background. This is the extended cut, but you know, I'm fine with the original cut. Wonder Woman, which is a pretty good superhero movie. Great adaptation of Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot, she's great. She's great as Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. Justice League, which I liked it, but you know, they could have done a better job. I am interested in the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, so I'm pretty interested. You know how that's gonna turn out. Pretty excited. My Dark Knight trilogy. Got Batman Begins. There you go. Dark Knight. And The Dark Knight Rises. And I got the most recent. Is it the most recent? I guess Birds of Prey would be the most recent. Well, the 11 nominated Oscar film, nominated for Best Picture as well, and one Best Actor and one for Best Original Score, I believe, or Best Composer. Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix, Robert De Niro, Zazie Beetz, a whole bunch of other people, Shia Wigham. This is a great movie. I loved it. Joaquin Phoenix gave a great performance, well-deserved Oscar win. Joker's like my favorite villain of all time, and yeah, Joaquin gave his own unique take on the Joker, separate from Heath Ledger, and I love Heath Ledger's Joker, and Heath Ledger's Joker is still my favorite version of the Joker, even though, Cesar Romero is great as the Joker, and Jack Nicholson, and, Joaquin, I kind of like Jared Leto's, but yeah, very good movie. I love superhero movies, I love DC movies, and I love the approach that DC is taking. They're doing, they're what's the word? They're like accepting the multiverse. Like they're what's the word? They're making use of it. So like, make more films like this, DC, because this is a very, very, very good movie. Great film. Great performances. Todd Phillips. Who knew, man? Todd Phillips did a great job with this film. Yeah. Oh, and I mean, obviously, a lot of people have seen the new Batman trailer. Oh, I mean, fucking badass. A lot of people were like, "What? Robert Pattinson as Batman? What the fuck?" And I was like, "No, man. He is so much more than Twilight. I mean, just." Watch his performance in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. He's good in that. He's great. Watch him in Good Time. So many other films. The Lighthouse. Even though I did not finish that movie, I paused it, and it's been 8 months since. But he's good in that movie as well. Robert Pattinson is a great actor, and I can't wait to see him as Batman, and just from the little taste that we got him as Batman, effing fantastic. Yeah, man. It's been years since I seen the Tim Burton Batman movies, but I remember really liking Batman Returns and Batman '89. But yeah. Also, oh shit. Also, of course, as a kid, I really liked Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. I mean, Batman Forever is much better than Batman and Robin, but still. And also, but still, they're unique. I think they're purposefully campy to be reminiscent to the Adam West Batman. I mean, yeah, rest in peace, Joel Schumacher. Rest in peace, you know. But yeah, that is my DC movie collection. I'm very proud of it, as you can tell. But yeah. No. Next up, another Joaquin Phoenix film. Usually, if you can't tell, this is from Mexico. This is Inherent Vice, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. I'm pretty sure. Thomas, I'm sure of it. Okay. Yes, Paul Thomas Anderson. Okay. This is a mystery film. You know, detective '70s film. It takes place in the '70s, but it was made in the 2010s or something. I wanted to get it because it looked fun. It looked very fun and very hippie like. That's what I meant. I've I watched like the first 20 minutes and then I paused it and I moved on. It's not that I thought the movie was boring or that I hated it. It's because I just do that with movies. I don't know. This is Alfred Hitchcock film Vertigo. I've only seen Psycho and Birds from Alfred Hitchcock, two famous films of his. Vertigo, I wanted to get it because I don't know. I saw some clips of it. The way it uses color. I think this film uses color very heavily and very beautifully. So I was like, oh, I need to check out this film just for the cinematography alone. But you shouldn't just watch a film for cinematography alone. I mean, you can, but I want to watch this film as a film. Along with the cinematography and the acting and the story and the direction and all that. But yeah, I haven't seen it yet. The Good, the Bad, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And this was directed by Sergio Leone, I believe that's his name. Probably butchered his name. Stars Clint Eastwood, and this is a classic western. I really like westerns. I'm a fan of them, so I was like I need to check out this film. I've never seen any of the classic Clint Eastwood films, so I was like, I need to check out this film. I still haven't seen it, but I will. I know it's on Netflix, but I bought this movie, so I'm gonna watch it with this DVD. But yeah. Next film on the list, The Nice Guys, directed by Shane Black, starring Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. Shane Black is one of my favorite directors of all time. He's so unique. His sense of humor is so funny and unique. And also Ryan Gosling is another one of my favorite actors of all time. And he's so good in this. He's so funny. He's so lovable as Holland March. And Russell Crowe is such a badass and so cool as how did I forget his name? How did I forget his name? Jackson Healy. But yeah. I wish there could be a sequel to this film, but unfortunately it did not do good in the box office because people were like, all right. But even if it doesn't get a sequel, this film alone is just so good. It's one of the best buddy cop films out there. Yeah, and I'm a big fan of Rush Hour. But it's good, so good, so good. The cast is good, funny, fast paced, very funny, well acted, and all that. And if you couldn't tell, I was a Ryan Gosling fan. Drive. Yeah. I heard about this movie, I heard how the trailers were manipulative. They made the trailers look like a Fast and Furious movie. But it's not. It's not a Fast and Furious movie. It's a crime drama film, and it's a very good crime drama film. Just the opening scene, and then the music that plays in this film, and all the cinematography, and Ryan Gosling's performance, and just like, yeah, man. I love that scene where he, in the beginning of the film, where he's driving to that song by Kosinski. I believe that's the artist's name. I'm not sure, but it's such a good song. But this is a very good movie. Oscar Isaac is in it as well. Very good, very violent. Yeah. It was directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. I probably butchered his name. He also made another film with Ryan Gosling. It was called Only God Forgives. It's on Netflix. I need to check that film out also. I love Ryan Gosling. I have on digital The Big Short, directed by Adam McKay, which is very good, and Ryan Gosling is hilarious in that movie. So yeah, I'm a huge Ryan Gosling fan. Blade Runner 2049, another Ryan Gosling film. I love Blade Runner 2049. So good. Almost any Ryan Gosling movies, just good. Muy bueno. I was not racist because I was Mexican. I am Mexican. Okay, all right. Beetlejuice. It's like a horror comedy. I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, it's a horror comedy. This was directed by Tim Burton. I don't think this is his first film. But yeah, it stars Michael Keaton, Gina Davis, Alec Baldwin, a whole bunch of other people. Very good movie, very funny. Tim Burton, I love his style. Very unique. Michael Keaton is so funny in this movie. He's so great. Yeah, man. I think this film is rated PG, and there's like an F-bomb in it. And Michael Keaton's like, after Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin leave, Beetlejuice is like, "Hey, where'd you go? You losers! Oh, nice effing model." Very funny movie. I highly recommend it. Kingsman: The Secret Service stars Taron Egerton, Samuel L. Jackson, Colin Firth, and a whole bunch of other people. Directed by Matthew Vaughn, who directed X-Men First Class and Kick-Ass, which I highly recommend those films as well. Kingsman, it's a spy film, and a very good spy film indeed. So it's an action comedy spy film. It's very funny. It's very fast-paced, very witty, action-packed, violent. Taron Egerton, I don't think this is this his first film? I'm not sure, but I never heard of Taron Egerton. But after watching this movie, I just ended up loving him, man. He's so good. He's a great actor, Taron Egerton, and I would love to meet him one day. Matthew Vaughn. He has a very distinct and strong particular style, and it definitely shows with this movie, which is a good thing. Nothing wrong with it. But yeah, I recommend this movie. This is The Way of the Dragon. Yeah, The Way of the Dragon, Bruce Lee film, and I have not seen it. I should. I like Bruce Lee. I haven't seen all his films, So I'm trying to get more into 1970s martial art films. This is a good start. Sorry. This is Sadako versus Kayako. I think it's The Ring versus The Grudge. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I might, maybe. I don't know. My mom got it for me. Yeah. It says before Batman versus Superman, there was, here comes Sadako versus Kayako. Hey! Sorry. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. Okay, Alright. This is my Alien collection. Obviously you saw I had Alien Resurrection. I don't own the first Alien film, but I will one day. Unless Disney decides not to sell any more physical media, well, that's unfortunate. Okay, yeah. Aliens, my favorite of the Alien series. One of my favorite films of all time. Prometheus, I think, is a really highly underappreciated film. I think is very good. It's very different from Alien, even though it's an Alien prequel. It's very unique. Ridley Scott. You pretty ballsy. Even though this film doesn't really feature xenomorphs, spoiler alert, it kind of does. Yeah, man, this movie is, how would I describe it? It's much more philosophical than horror. If that makes any sense. But yeah, Alien versus Predator. The first of 2 films in the AVP series. There's only 2 of them. I like this film much more than Requiem. But yeah, they're not great movies, but I like this film. And I like the film because you get to watch the xenomorphs versus the predators. So who doesn't want to see that? Who doesn't want to see predators slicing up xenomorphs and xenomorphs, chest bursting out of predators? Literally everyone in the world wants to see that. Yeah. I used to have Freddy versus Jason. I don't know where it is. I do love Freddy versus Jason. That final fight between Freddy and Jason, epic. Fred the movie. That's all I have to say. I like it. There was 3 Fred movies and a TV show. I used to be a fan of Fred. He was like one of the first YouTubers. And yeah, I remember getting so hyped up for this movie, and then I watched it and I loved it. I like this movie, man. I haven't seen this film in years, but I was like, I liked it. From what I remember, I pretty much liked it. Even though they're not great films. I definitely the best of the trilogy. John Cena's in it. If that doesn't, I don't know what will. Super 8, directed by JJ. What the fuck is that? I think I saw a ghost. Directed by J.J. Abrams. Yes. And it was produced by Steven Spielberg. Super 8. I saw this in theaters. Really good. Very reminiscent to Steven Spielberg films, about how, a group of kids fight, going, doing crazy stuff, and while the government's like chasing them and all that. Yeah. Yeah, I really like it. I highly recommend it. Of course, there's J.J. Abrams' trademark lens flares. Excuse me. Season 1 of El Chavo del Ocho, or El Chavo Animado. If you're not familiar with El Chavo, it's a very popular Mexican series. It's a comedy. It's like a sketch comedy, but not really. It follows these characters of El Chavo. In the live action series or the original series, adults, these characters, these kids, they're played by adults in the original series and the live action series. And you would think that would be distracting, but it's not. It's not. They act like kids. They sound like kids. And you just think to yourself, they're kids, man. They're not adults, even though they're like the same height as adults. They're not. I love El Chavo. One of my favorite. I mean, I love the animated series as well, but the original series, with Chespirito and Don Ramon and Carlos Villagran. I love that series. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and such an inspiration to me. Chespirito is, Chespirito is such an inspiration to me. I just love what he does. And all the stuff that he created. I mean, El Chavo, El Chapulín Colorado, Doctor Chapatin, Lucas, and gosh, I forgot. But los cham. Oh, I can't believe I don't remember that. But yeah, I guess if you, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people are familiar with the series, unless you're like, is it racist? I don't know. If you're like Hispanic, you're probably familiar with this series. Those that are non-Hispanic, probably not so much. But yeah, man, if you ever learn Spanish, I would recommend you watch the series, the original series, but also the animated show, because the animated show is pretty much like the original series, and they're both pretty funny shows. No one did. Chespirito was like the Monty Python of Mexico, but Chespirito was Chespirito. He was no Monty Python. He was Chespirito, and Monty Python was no Chespirito. Monty Python was Monty Python. That's all I can say. Nobody did humor like Chespirito, and nobody created great characters like Chespirito. Yeah, man, I love him. Rest in peace, dog. Okay, what do we have next? The UFO conspiracy. I think my mom bought this for me. Yeah, she bought it for me. I love UFOs. I love UFOs. I believe UFOs exist. I believe in aliens and the supernatural, like ghost, and otherworldly stuff. So yeah, I think I saw this. I love UFO documentaries and ghost documentaries. I love ghost hunters and what was that other show? Not Ghost Hunters. I do like Ghost Hunters, but there was this other show, Ghost Catchers. I don't know, but yeah. I think I saw it. I think I saw this. I don't know. There's this one documentary about UFOs with Dan Aykroyd. From what I saw of it, I liked. It's very the way the documentary was made. Was very creepy. I don't know how else to describe it. The vibe was very creepy. And I guess a lot of documentaries. That's what I love about documentaries, especially like, the ones that deal with the paranormal. They give off a creepy vibe, to make you feel uncomfortable. But yeah, Nacho Libre. I mentioned this earlier. Jared Hess directed Napoleon Dynamite, and he directed Nacho Libre, one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Nacho Libre. This movie is so funny. This was produced by Nickelodeon Movies and Paramount Pictures and all that. One of the best Nickelodeon movies. But yeah, Jack Black is so funny in this. I mean, I love that it filmed. I love the fact that they filmed in Mexico. I love Jack Black playing a Mexican luchador. Yeah, such a funny movie. I love it. The music's pretty good in this movie too. Jared has, yeah. I wish they made a sequel to this movie. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, ow! Beavis and Butthead. As you can see, it was $5.99. $5.99. This is like 16 episodes of Beavis and Butthead. I love Beavis and Butthead. They're classic. They're a classic cartoon duo. They're so dumb and stupid, but you love them because they're so dumb and stupid. I do have the movie. Here it is. Beavis and Butthead Do America. Very good movie. If there ever was going to be a Beavis and Butthead movie, this is how it should be done. I love Beavis and Butthead, and I love the fact that Beavis and Butthead is coming back. I'm super excited for that. I can't wait. And this time it's going to be on Comedy Central, so it's not going to be on MTV anymore. So I'm hella excited for Beavis and Butthead to come back. I don't think that show should have never went off the air. I think it should have always kept. But I mean, it's good. Then they don't constantly have to come up with new ideas because then eventually the show would become stale. But it's good that it's good. The show got canceled, but now if they're coming back with new episodes, new seasons, obviously they have some great ideas. And obviously they did revive Beavis and Butthead for like one season back in 2011 and MTV. And I remember watching the episodes and really liking it. I was like, oh, I can't wait for more, and then they never continue it. So what was the point of a revival? But yeah. Pink Panther. This is a movie adaptation and a remake of the original Pink Panther movie. I love the Pink Panther. It's one of my favorite cartoons of all time. This follows Jacques Clouseau, played by Steve Martin, and I love Steve Martin. He's a national treasure, just like Tom Hanks and Steve Carell. This stars Steve Martin, Kevin Kline, and Beyonce, which I believe this is her first film role. I'm not sure. People did not like this movie. It was nominated for like a Golden Raspberry Award, whatever it's called. I really like it. I think it's a very funny movie. I think it's a very funny movie. Maybe my sense of humor is just dumb slapstick. I don't know. I thought this was a pretty funny movie. Yeah. The sequel, I like the sequel, but I like the first film better. Jason Statham is in this movie also. So that was that. There is that. Okay. Moving on. Money Talks, starring Chris Tucker and Charlie Sheen. This movie's pretty funny. It's a good movie. I like it. It's not like this was made by the director of Rush Hour, Brett Ratner. Not as good as Rush Hour, but it's still good. I wanted to watch this movie because it featured two of my favorite actors of the time. Well, one of them. I mean, I still love Chris Tucker. Charlie Sheen, I still like him really. I still like him a lot. It's just, he's done some questionable things. But still, I wanted to watch him because, I never thought that there would be a movie with the two of them. I was like, oh my gosh, God has answered my prayer. He's answered my prayer. Good movie. You can have fun with it. Okay. Next up is Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay. This is my only Harold and Kumar movie, and this is my favorite of the series. I love Harold and Kumar. I hope they make another one, or if not, make an animated show or something, or a TV show, something. Netflix, get on it, or HBO Max, since this is owned by Warner Brothers. I love Harold Kumar, John Cho, and Kal Penn. They're great. They have great chemistry. This is a stoner buddy comedy, and this is my favorite stoner buddy comedy series, and my favorite stoner buddy comedy film. Pineapple Express is pretty good too, but nobody can compete with Harold Kumar. I love when they went to. I love White Castle, such a fun movie. Christmas movie is very good too. Not as good as the second one, in my opinion, but it's very good and sweet film. Yeah, man, I love Harold Kumar. Okay, next up is Juno. Hello. Juno, I believe it was directed by Judd Apatow. Stars Ellen Page and Michael Cera and Jason Bateman and a whole bunch of other people. It's like a coming of age movie. It's a coming of age movie. It's a high school movie. So I watched it when I was like in high school, maybe in middle school. I don't know. Very good movie, relatable to a lot of teenagers because, even though teenage pregnancy isn't at a high anymore, still pretty relevant because, there are teenagers, that go through that stuff. And it's a funny, emotional movie. Very good movie. Very sweet. Okay, next up is bunch of series. Family Guy. This is season 7 or volume 7. I love Family Guy. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I don't care what people say. People call it, a ripoff of The Simpsons. Yeah, originally it was, but it grew into so much more. It became something much more than that. It became its own thing, its own identity, and people say this show sucks or that they should have canceled it or whatever. I love this show, man. You could always count on Family Guy to make you laugh. Sure, they're not as heartfelt or emotional as The Simpsons, and sure, their writing isn't as exquisite or as charming as The Simpsons, but not everything has to be The Simpsons. And yeah, I love Family Guy. I could always count on Family Guy to make me laugh, no matter what. That's what a good comedy show should do. Make you laugh. And Family Guy does that. I can always be entertained by Family Guy. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane, he's a genius. He's crazy, man. Yeah. Sorry. I thought I saw a ghost. Another Seth MacFarlane show that he co-created with somebody else. American Dad. Much more better writing than Family Guy. Much more compact plot and story than Family Guy. They don't do cutaways on this show, but it's still a pretty damn good show. American Dad's very funny. I don't watch it watch it as much as Family Guy, but when I do, I always have a good time with it. But yeah. Oh, I guess we have arrived at a destination. Wait one sec. Are you ready? There we go. This is my Simpsons collection. I mean, I do have bootleg Simpsons DVDs, but they don't work that well. These are not bootlegs. But yeah, I love The Simpsons. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It's one of my biggest inspirations. It's one of the inspirations. It's one of the inspirations currently to my series Chill Level on my main channel. Yeah, I love The Simpsons. The Simpsons are my favorite TV animated family. Maybe my favorite TV family of all time. I don't know. Yeah, man. The Simpsons movie. I love the Simpsons movie. Very good movie. Hopefully they make a sequel. But yeah. I remember, it's crazy that Disney now owns The Simpsons, and it's crazy to see The Simpsons on Disney Plus. You be like, people used to hate The Simpsons back in the 90s. Be like, oh, this is blasphemy. The Simpsons is blasphemy, and nobody would allow Bart T-shirts. And I was like, The Simpsons is the most family-friendly animated sitcom ever, in my opinion. Like, more family-friendly than Family Guy for sure, and maybe Bob's Burgers, but I haven't seen enough of Bob's Burgers to decide. And yeah, my mom would never allow me to watch the series, and she would disapprove of me watching The Simpsons. But nowadays, since like I'm practically an adult, she's like, why are you watching that? Why are you watching The Simpsons? And I'm just like, I love it. The Simpsons is good. It's so good. And they're the most family friendly animated sitcom and family. Homer is the best animated TV dad. He definitely loves his family more so than Peter. So that's an undeniable truth. I don't care what anyone says. But yeah, Homer's my favorite animated TV dad. Just saying. I remember, when the Simpsons movie, was coming out and the promotion for it, I was so excited. Burger King was doing a promotional tie-in with the movie, with the release of the movie, and they had, when you get a Burger King, kids meal, that you would get a Simpsons toy, and God, I miss those days, man. And I remember watching the Simpsons movie, and man, I never laughed so hard in my life. I was watching the Simpsons movie with my dad, and I was laughing so hard. It was so embarrassing. I was the only one laughing super hard. I embarrassed my dad for sure. No, I was just, every time they would make a joke in the movie, every time they would make a joke in the movie, I would just go like this. That was basically me. So I just woke up my cat. But yeah, that was basically me, and I don't care, man. I had a great experience watching that movie, and I love The Simpsons. Has it gone on for too long? Yes. Do I care? Not really. I'm glad The Simpsons is still around, but I think eventually they're gonna make it up to season 50. I think after season 50 they should just like end the show. But when that day comes, it's gonna be a sad day in America for sure. Sad day in the world. But yeah. I love The Simpsons. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Next up, The Legend of Korra series. This is the complete series. It's not on Blu-ray. Should have got it on Blu-ray. Yeah, it's on Netflix right now, along with Avatar, The Last Airbender series. I gotta say, I love Avatar, The Last Airbender. I love Avatar, The Last Airbender. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time, along with The Legend of Korra. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I do love The Legend of Korra more so than Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I'll tell you what, man, I grew up watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it's such a good show. It's one of the best Nickelodeon shows ever, and so is The Legend of Korra. And I can't believe those series were ever on Nickelodeon. It's crazy to me because they're so good. They're so mature for their age. It's great children's programming. It's much more than children's programming. It's really a show that, adults can watch. But, but Legend of Korra, more so, is a much more mature show than Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's, a bit more darker, and, it deals with more heavy themes that, a lot of critics were surprised by, that was never seen on a children's show before. Socio-political themes and terrorism and all that stuff. But yeah, I love The Legend of Korra. I think it's such a great show. Funny thing is, the only season I haven't seen of the show is season 2. I only saw the first episode of season 2 and the last 2 episodes of season 2. I don't know why. I don't know why. I've seen season 1 and 2. I've seen season 1 and 3 and 4. But I didn't see season 2 except the first episode and the last 2 episodes, which is weird. I can't say that I've seen the whole series because I haven't. So I need to watch season 2 of Legend of Korra. But anyway, nonetheless, it's a great show. I highly recommend it. I recommend watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. Well, I mean, you can watch it. It doesn't matter. You don't need to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. You can watch this one if you want first, or, whatever. Don't watch the movie. Do not watch the movie. Yeah, I saw the movie in theaters. I remember liking it. Now reminiscing, I don't understand why I liked it. I guess I liked it because it was cool seeing in live action all the characters in live action and storylines unfold in live action. They like Avatar: The Last Airbender, like the movie, they adapted book 1, and it was cool seeing that storyline being adapted for live action. But looking back on it, I was like, no, it's no good. And also they called Aang Ung. Like, I mean, okay, all right, I guess I could. It's not a huge deal, but it's just like, yeah, no bueno. It's no good. All right. Okay. Nope. This is the wrong movie. Where's the movie? Where's the movie? Where's it? Oh no. Oh no. No, not the movie. No, where is it? I lost it. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I lost it. Oh no. No, do not abandon me. Oh, here it is. Okay. See, I was not crying. I was shedding tears of joy. Gym Teacher, the movie. It's a Nickelodeon television movie. Stars Christopher Meloni and Nathan Kress from iCarly, and I love iCarly. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I mean, a lot of people. I grew up with iCarly. I grew up with iCarly and Drake and Josh and Zoe 101 and all that stuff. But yeah, Gym Teacher, the movie. It's. I haven't seen it in years, but I remember how good it was. It's a pretty good movie. I really enjoy it. it's pretty funny, and Christopher Maloney, he's pretty funny in the movie as well. Yeah, man, it's a good movie. I highly recommend it if you can find it anywhere. Maybe on, maybe, maybe it's on Hulu. Probably not. I don't know. I don't know where you can find that movie. Um, try CBS All Access. If not, then it's, I don't know. It'll come. It'll be there. Just hold your horses. That's offensive. Do not say that. That is offensive. I am offended. I can't believe you would say such a thing to me. I am offended. Yeah. All right. It looks like we're good on this drawer. We have a bit more to get through. We have a bit more to get through. Thank you all for, I mean, we're not done yet, but thank you all for sticking through on this video. I know it's pretty long. I know I probably talked for way too long. I apologize for that, but it's fun. This is fun. I'm glad I'm doing a video like this. But yeah, this is probably gonna be 3 hours. So sorry, not sorry. But yeah. Welcome back. We are now in the simulation. We're in what? Okay. All right. So last time we are about to finish. So pretty exciting. Pretty sad. Not really. My freaking legs hurt. I don't know why. Too much stress. All right. Cool. This is my Game of Thrones collection, as you can tell. I have all 8 seasons. The 3rd season is a bootleg. What's up? Yeah, almost all of them except season 2 and 3. Season 2's DVDs. Season 3's a bootleg. All of them are on Blu-ray, so gotta get the highest quality. Yeah, I got all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. Actually, I got seasons 4 through 8 at Target for a sale. It was on sale, so I was like, it's on sale right now. Might as well get it, and in total, all 4 seasons. Wait, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 seasons. I know how to count. In total, all 5 seasons were like $60. All in total. Which is the regular price of 1 season of Game of Thrones. And that was pretty good. I have not seen the whole series, so I'm only on season 2. But here's the thing: I was on the final episode of season 2. I paused it. It's been a year. What's wrong with me? I don't know why I do that, but I do. Yeah, I bought the rest of the series so I could watch it. I know it's on HBO Max and all that, but I'd rather watch it with Blu-rays and DVDs. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'll probably upgrade season 2 of Game of Thrones to a Blu-ray, maybe, and maybe season 3. I don't know. My mom bought it for me, so I was like, should I even upgrade that to a Blu-ray? But yeah, yeah. I've heard nothing but great things about Game of Thrones, except the 8th season. I've heard plenty of stuff about the 8th season. Yeah, I can't wait. So whenever I have the time to watch it, I guess I'll watch it. But yeah, Game of Thrones. So far, what I've watched of Game of Thrones, I love. I think it's a terrific show. great production, great acting, costume, and great world building. Yeah, great stuff, man. I'm sorry, is my hair crazy? I'm sorry. I'm sorry about my hair. Okay, don't slut shame me, losers. All right. Next up, I think we should start here. Is my favorite anime series of all time, Cowboy Bebop. This is the DVD. I should have gotten the Blu-ray. Actually, I didn't have a Blu-ray back then. I didn't have a PS4 actually back then. I'll probably upgrade this one day, but nonetheless, Cowboy Bebop is one of the greatest anime series of all time. Move out of the way, Dragon Ball. Move out of the way, My Hero Academia. Move out of the way, Naruto. Move out of the way, Cowboy Bebop. Nope, that's the same show. Come back. There you go. All right. Cowboy Bebop created by a bunch of people. Shinichiro Watanabe. He's known for this show, and he also for Samurai Champloo and what was it, Kids on the Slope, I believe, one of the movies he made. Space Dandy and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, I love this show. This show is so good. The music, the animation, the voice acting, the English dub, perfection. The world building, just the dialogue and just the simple conversations that characters have with each other is so beautiful. I especially love the episodes where individual characters explore their past, like Spike Spiegels and Jet Blacks and Face and even Edwards. Yeah, I love Cowboy Bebop, and it was only lasted for 26 episodes. It doesn't make it a bad show. No, it makes it much more. How do I describe it? Much more complete. Would I have loved another season of Cowboy Bebop? Would I have loved if this show lasted for like at least 2 more seasons? Yeah, yeah. If I'm able to spend more time with these characters, definitely. But it only lasted for 26 episodes, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's still a great show. You get to know these characters even in 26 episodes. Yeah, man. You fall in love with the Bebop, and you fall in love with each individual character, and I just love how the characters are so uniquely different from one another, but yet they fit like a puzzle. They merge. They're able to merge together. Is that even a word? I don't know. Yeah. Obviously, Cowboy Bebop is such an inspiration to me. It's one of my inspirations for my series Chill Level that I keep constantly mentioning. Yes, I am a narcissist. It's a huge inspiration on that series, on my series Chill Level, and yeah. And Spike Spiegel is also a huge inspiration to my character that I play, Caesar, also named after me. Yes, I am that much of a narcissist. Thank you. Yeah, and Spike Spiegel, one of the coolest anime characters of all time. And Steve Bloom. Gosh, his voice is great. Yeah. And also, Cowboy Bebop the movie. If you didn't have enough Cowboy Bebop in your life, well, there's a movie. And I'm so glad. I when I was watching the series, I watched it in chronological order. So I watched the movie. The movie takes place between episodes 22 and 23, I believe. And I think it says here. I'm not sure. But the movie's super awesome. It's badass. It's epic. It's what a Cowboy Bebop movie should be. The animation is awesome as well. The final fight between Spike and Vincent is so badass. Vincent is such a compelling villain. Very cool. Cool action. Cool story. Yeah. Yeah. I'll probably upgrade this to a Blu-ray, but yeah, because there is a Blu-ray of this. But anyway, yeah. Oh, and also, just to mention, the episodes with Spike and Vicious. I can't. It's so good. Yeah, and to be honest, I'm quite excited for the Cowboy Bebop live action Netflix series that they're gonna do. I mean, they got John Cho from Harold and Kumar and Better Luck Tomorrow to play Spike Spiegel, which is perfect casting. If you can't get Keanu Reeves to play him, then or Joseph Gordon-Levitt, then John Cho is a great choice for Spike Spiegel. They got gosh, what's his name? Mustafir Shakir. He was in Luke Cage season 2. He played a Bushmaster. He's gonna play Jet Black. He looks like Jet Black. He does. He looks like him. Great casting. They cast Danielle something as Faye Valentine. They haven't casted Edward. They casted Vicious. Yeah, but there's like a bit of a year away before the show starts production again because John Cho got into an injury. His leg got like injured. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm intrigued. Let's hope they don't screw it up. Death Note. I think Lakeith Stanfield was pretty good. Was pretty good as L in Death Note, but not he wasn't straight up like L in Death Note. L was much more calmer and calculating, and he was able to keep his emotions in check. Yeah, Lakeith Stanfield's L was much more emotional outburst, but he was still pretty good as L. I thought he was the closest to. Actually, no, Ryuk was basically one and the same from the Death Note movie and the series. And Willem Dafoe voices him perfectly. That's not even a word. I don't care. All right, I talked enough about Cowboy Bebop. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I first saw this movie in Mexico. It was on TV. Surprisingly, it was in English, but they had Spanish subtitles. And I was just like, I didn't know who directed it, and I just started watching it, and then I recognized, Robert Downey Jr., and then Val Kilmer, and then I started watching it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this movie's so good, it's so great. And this is Shane Black's first feature-length film, I believe. He directed The Nice Guys and the most recent Predator movie. He wrote Lethal Weapon, and he starred in the Predator, the original Predator film. This movie is so good. It's a great crime mystery film. The chemistry between Val Kilmer and Robert Downey Jr. is off the charts. Is great. Yeah, so good. Michelle Monaghan is in this, and she's great. All three of them, the three leads, they're all great. Such a good movie. Yeah, Shane Black. If you're interested at all in movies, I would recommend watching this movie. Yeah. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. One of my absolutely favorite movies of all time. Directed by the lovely Edgar Wright. And stars an ensemble cast. Michael Cera, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Jason Schwartzman, Chris Evans, so many people. Kieran Culkin. Yeah, this movie is so unique and wild. This film is the closest that it's ever gonna be for true, like graphic novel film. I don't know how to describe it. Like a graphic. I mean, I know how to describe it, but like, would it be? Is an adaptation of the Scott Pilgrim versus the World comics. Comics or graphic novel. And it's so good. It's so unique. It's in the style of video games and comic books, and this is the most visual film I have ever seen in terms of visual effects and just like in characters and music and production design. Yeah, like this is like I don't know how to describe it. It's like this is gonna be this is the most comic book movie and video game movie ever. Yeah, yeah. And I love this movie so much. Michael Cera's hilarious. The whole cast is hilarious. They're all great. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Speaking of video games, Wreck-It Ralph. This was made by, directed by, I think he worked on The Simpsons. Yeah, I saw this in theaters. I was really interested after watching the first trailer. This is about video games and the world of video games, and these are about video game characters living inside video games. And then the first trailer, and that first teaser trailer, they had Ralph in a like a, what do you call it? Like a anonymous meeting where Bowser was there, and Bison was there, I believe. The zombie, Clyde, the orange ghost from Pac-Man. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but for video games. And when I watched it, I loved it. I love this movie so much. It's so good. Very emotional movie. Very heartwarming. Very fun. Funny movie as well. Visually, great visuals, great animation. Yeah. If you want to watch a good video game movie, watch this one. Ralph Breaks the Internet is pretty good, but I do like Wreck-It Ralph a bit more. Yeah. I hope they make a third one, to round out the trilogy. But I guess if they don't make a third one, that's fine. Because I heard they weren't interested in making a third film, but it's whatever. Next film is Space Jam. This stars Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny. I love Bugs Bunny, man. Bugs Bunny. Who doesn't love Bugs Bunny? Man, this movie, critics didn't love it. Well, who cares? This is a film where it doesn't matter what the critics say. This movie is awesome, and I love it. And practically any basketball lover loves this movie as well. I can't wait for the sequel. With LeBron James. Yeah, Bill Murray's in this film as well. Yeah, it's very good. I love it. I do love basketball as well. I love playing basketball, but I'm not the hugest basketball fan. I'm trying to get into basketball a bit more. Like, I'm trying to get into basketball more, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm trying to learn, what players are what players are who, and what players play on which team, and I'm trying to get into the logistic stuff, and what is the state, what are playoffs, and all that stuff. So I do love basketball, but I'm not like a super fan, if that makes any sense. I don't think it does, but I am getting more into basketball, and basketball is fun, man. It's awesome, and this film is awesome. I can't wait for the sequel. Good thing they're making a sequel. Firefly, the complete series. This was created by Joss Whedon. It stars Nathan Fillion and a whole bunch of other people. Um, I've only seen the first episode. I haven't seen the whole show. From what I can tell and from what I've heard, this is very much like Cowboy Bebop. I mean, Cowboy Bebop did come first before Firefly, so maybe it was inspired by Cowboy Bebop. But I'm a big fan of space westerns, and I love space cowboys. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I need to check this out. I don't have the movie, but yeah, but also the movie was made by was it's owned by Universal Studios, so it probably won't end up on Hulu or anywhere or on Disney Plus, wherever it ends up on. But yeah, yeah, I've heard the series is great, and people were like, "I want more Firefly." I've heard about that, and I haven't seen it. I've only seen the first episode, and I don't remember what happened in that episode. Not saying that it's bad. It's just that it's been so many years. But yeah. Next up is my Hunger Games collection. Got the Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay Part 1, and Mockingjay Part 2. I love the Hunger Games series. Excuse me. Catching Fire is my favorite. My favorite Hunger Games film. It's my favorite of the series. It also introduced me, and it introduced me into the rest of the world, Finnick Odair. And because of Finnick Odair, played by Sam Claflin, who's one of my favorite actors of all time, who portrays one of my favorite characters of all time, Finnick Odair. Because of Finnick Odair, I fell in love with tridents. So tridents are awesome, man. Badass. That's why I love Aquaman. I mean, even though Aquaman is pretty badass. Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence, she's great in this film. I've seen all 4 of the Hunger Games movies in theaters. And yeah, my dad, he's a huge fan of Jennifer Lawrence, and he's a huge fan of the Hunger Games movies as well. I'm a big fan of the Hunger Games. I love these movies. Yeah, they're all good. I know people didn't like Part 2 of Mockingjay that much, but I really liked it. Maybe it's not as good as like Catching Fire, but like it's still pretty good. Still pretty good. All right, next up is what we have? Oh, is this what I think it is? Oh yeah, Terminator 2. Judgment Day, directed by James Cameron, the great James Cameron, and that's a sequel to the Terminator, and stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton and a whole bunch of other people. No Michael Biehn this time, unfortunately. I love Michael Biehn. He's another one of my favorite actors. Have I annoyed you enough? Please do. Please let me know in the comments below. I have this on VHS. I got this at Goodwill, and I'm proud of it. I love the cover art. I love how it's very shiny and reflective. Terminator 2. Yeah, man. First 2 Terminator films are the best Terminator films. Yeah, the Terminator series. I haven't seen Terminator. What was it? Dark Fate. I haven't seen Dark Fate yet. But yeah. Yeah, man, I love the Terminator films. I even like Genesis. I thought it was good. It's a guilty pleasure movie of mine. Terminator 3, I liked it. It's not great though. It's pretty average. Yeah, and some of the humor in that movie was. Terminator Salvation. I think I seen that movie. I guess it's okay. I think I liked it. I'm not sure. But yeah, no. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. I love the first one. First one's great. But I think I love the second one a bit more. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger is great as the T-800, and I mean, who can't? What's more badass than a Terminator? You know what would be super badass? A RoboCop versus Terminator movie. I've never seen RoboCop, but I think it would be super cool. I mean, it's you can do that in Mortal Kombat. So speaking of Mortal Kombat, did I show you? Where is it? Nope, I lost it. Yep, it's lost. It's lost forever. It's gone. Yep. Okay. I do have Mortal Kombat 11. I'm proud of it. T-800 is in here. Yeah, it's pretty badass. Pretty badass game. I don't play it every day, but it's definitely worth the $60. It's also the Steelbook edition. I can't take it out. Oh, that's what she said. But yeah. What's next? Oh, is this what I think it is? Yes, it is. Akira. And we'll get back to it right after these messages. There's no messages. Quick little break. Hello. Do you like movies? Good. What's up? Hey, if you can't tell, this is the next day. This is the very next day. This part I'm shooting on the very next day. Also, sorry if you felt betrayed. This is not an uncut. That's not what I meant. Uncut video. Yep. I apologize. All right. Okay. Well, let's just finish this off strong, shall we? Last we left was Akira. Released in 1988, directed by direction by Katsuhiro Otomo, and well, he's the creator of Akira, and so he did the film adaptation. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it says here an anime film based on the graphic novel by Katsuhiro Otomo. See, so I was right. Yeah. So cool little story about this. Well, to me it was cool. I had never heard of Akira before I found it at Goodwill. I found this movie at Goodwill, and then I just saw, the movies were like stacked like this, and I saw Akira, and then I saw an anime character on it, and I was like, oh, this is an anime film. So it must be, it must be a pretty old film because this is on VHS. So, and then and then I looked at it, and then I read the description, and it was like, it takes place in Neo Tokyo, and then there's this gangs, and it's like this dystopian, and it was like, and then I noticed the cover art, and it said Neo Tokyo is about to explode, and then this character, Kaneda, who looks super badass, and I was like, I need to get this movie. This is with the 1980s dub, so it's the original dub, not the new release dub. Obviously, I watched it. And after watching this movie, no, actually, all throughout the movie, I was like, this movie is amazing. It's great. This movie is a masterpiece. It's one of the best anime films of all time. It's so good. I can't believe I never heard of it, but I'm so glad that I'm so glad that I came by it by surprise. And yeah, man, this movie's so good. So good. The animation's amazing. I much prefer the 1980s dub. I haven't seen Akira with the new dub, but I much prefer the 1980s dub, even though it's not great. I still prefer it. Um, yeah, you know, the music is great. I mean, just the sorry, my cat. Hey, what are you doing? Sorry, just the music is great. The opening where Kaneda and Tetsuo are just riding along with their street gang, when they're just driving all around Neo Tokyo is just this is great. I mean, just the opening shot where Tokyo explodes, and and you just it's very starts very somber, like the tone, like the film starts very like in a somber way, and the music helps to build that atmosphere and that tone. You know, this is a very dystopian film. Um, yeah, I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's so good. It's very. It's a wild film. It's very. Um, I don't know how to describe it. It's wild. There's a lot of things. Just the combination of you know there's so many things. There's so many elements in this movie, like psychic abilities and the religious movements and the dystopian, and it's a great film in general, and a great dystopian, and and it takes place in Tokyo, and I love Tokyo, so I highly recommend this movie. Please check it out. It's on Hulu, I believe, but buy the movie. Buy the movie. If you can find the VHS, you're pretty well. This is like a special limited edition, full length video presentation and widescreen. So this is a widescreen. It is on widescreen. Um, if you find this VHS, you're pretty lucky. I don't. What the hell? You fell, didn't you? Sorry, my cat tried to climb up my drawer. It's okay. It's okay, baby girl. It's okay. Are you okay? Did you hurt yourself? I found this at Goodwill, so if you have a local Goodwill, maybe you can find this. But was a pretty rare find. This was a rare find, and I'm so glad I found it. Yeah, my mom bought it for me. It was like, what was it, like 5 years ago? I didn't have money. I didn't have money. Okay, so sorry. But yeah, amazing movie. Check it out. It's on Hulu and Funimation, I think, or wherever anime is shown. So check it out, please. All right. Where was I? I know where I was. This is uncut. No cuts in this video. Yep, we don't cut this video at all. Okay. All right. Since we're talking about anime, all right. I got two Naruto films, or Naruto. Road to Ninja, Naruto the movie, and the last Naruto the movie. Out of the two movies, I love the last Naruto the movie a bit more than Road to Ninja. Yeah. I really like Naruto. I'm a fan of Naruto. I mean, I never seen the whole series. I haven't seen the original or its sequel, Shippuden. I've been watching the original. I'm up. I'm up to the Chunin exams, so I'm just like, I'm on that story arc right now. It's been a while since it's been like about 2 weeks since I last saw Naruto, but I really enjoy it. I think it's a pretty good anime. Naruto, the character. Obviously, I've seen Naruto movies. I've seen, a couple Naruto movies. I've seen I mean, it's not obvious, but I've seen Naruto movies, Blood Prison and Bonds I've seen. Obviously, I've seen these movies. Yeah, Naruto is badass, man, and the series itself is pretty badass. Even though it does take its time, just like nowadays, anime is more fast paced. Well, I believe I think it is because My Hero Academia doesn't you know moves at a quicker pace. But yeah, characters of Naruto, the village hidden in the leaves. I love the cast. I love the characters. Very cool. Good movies. This is a pretty good movie. Pretty good Naruto movie. This is a pretty good Naruto movie as well. This is more of a romance film. This is very much a film about Naruto and Hinata's relationship. Where they fall in love, and so I like this movie. It was cute. It was lovely. And also it was. I mean, it's the last Naruto movie. I mean, I know Boruto is. I know there's another Naruto movie. I mean, it's a Naruto movie, but it's about Boruto, his son. So it's not really a Naruto movie, you know, because it doesn't really focus on him. This is really the last Naruto movie that focuses on him. And it's pretty cool to see him as an adult. The animation is badass in this film. I mean, obviously, in the animation in the movies are gonna be better because they have a higher budget. But yeah, what's up? My cat's just looking at me. Yeah, it's awesome to see Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura and as adults. Yeah, it's very nice movie. I really like this movie. Right. Next up is Full Metal Alchemist, the Sacred Star of Milos. I have never seen this movie. My dad bought me this movie. I wanted to get it. I haven't seen it. I wanted to get it because I wanted to get it for just to get it. I never seen Full Metal Alchemist. I think I've only seen one episode, and I know there's Full Metal Alchemist or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and from what I can understand, Brotherhood is not. It's not a remake, but it's more like I don't know how to explain it. There's like two Full Metal Alchemists, and I guess you can watch either one because it's. I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to offend anime fans out there. I haven't seen the movie, but from what I've heard, you need to watch the series first before you can watch the movie. So it's like, oh well, it's not really a standalone film. But yeah, man, I'm getting more and more into anime. Nowadays, I'm trying to watch Naruto. Uh, I've been watching Naruto. I've been watching a little bit of Food Wars. Obviously, I've been watching My Hero Academia, and I love that show. That show is awesome. I've seen the movies. I saw My Hero Academia. What was the first one? Two Heroes. I believe it was two heroes. That movie's awesome, especially the final fight. Badass. But yeah, I've been checking out anime more. I've seen Death Note, the series. Very very good show. First half is good. Second half not so good. But the final two episodes of that show, or final three, are amazing. They're great. But yeah, obviously you can't talk about anime without, well, Dragon Ball and other stuff, but also Pokemon. Uh, Obviously Pokemon is based off the video game series by Nintendo, but also Pokemon is just a very popular anime series in general. This is the only Pokemon movie I have, I believe. It's the first one, so it introduces Mew and Mewtwo. for the first time. And yeah, I really like this movie, man. I haven't seen it in years, but I really like it. There is also like a short Pikachu mini story before the start of the movie. But yeah, I recommend. It's a cute story. I love Pokemon and I love Pikachu. I mean, who doesn't love Pikachu? Um, Ash Ketchum, Brock, Misty, the original trio. Yeah, I haven't seen every Pokemon episode, and I have not been watching Pokemon. I have not seen Pokemon in a long time. But yeah, this movie is very it's good. It's a good movie. It's emotional. It does get emotional at times. The animation's awesome, of course, because they have a higher budget. But yeah, Mewtwo's badass, and Mew is so adorable. And I mean, Pokemon. Who wouldn't want to have a Pokemon? But also, those poor Pokemon. They would have to live inside a little Pokeball. That's terrible life. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Ghost in the Shell. I bought this at Barnes and Noble. This was directed by Mamoru 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 Oshii. Mamoru Oshii. I probably butchered his name and I'm sorry. I have not seen this movie yet. I bought it because I've heard how great Ghost in the Shell is, and this is an older anime film. I have not seen it yet, but I should. I should watch it. Uh, I heard how great it is, and of course, The Matrix was pretty inspired by this movie. Um, Even though I haven't seen The Matrix, but I believe the directors, not Watanabe. What's the director's name? The Wachowskis, the Wachowski sisters. I think they've said that Ghost in the Shell was like a inspiration for the Matrix. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I should probably upgrade it to a Blu-ray. But yeah, um, if I ever find a VHS for this movie, I'm gonna buy it. I think VHSs are awesome, man. They're so cool. Like, yeah, man. Yeah, I need to watch the movie. Yeah. Speaking of Ghost in the Shell, I have the live action remake, and I have not seen the live action remake because I want to watch the original Ghost in the Shell before I watch the live action remake. I heard people liked it. I heard, of course there was controversy with Scarlett Johansson cast in an Asian character's role. But I've heard good things about this movie, so yeah, I need to check it out. I need to check it out. Okay. Uh, now, now this is an anime, but a lot of the anime that I own, like Ghost in the Shell and Akira, they're like they have a little, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a noir type feel. Like it takes place in Tokyo, where the city is full of beautiful fluorescent lights and colors and just neon lights, and I don't know how to describe it, but Ex Machina's similar in that, a bit similar in, well, in terms of cinematography and location and all that, but it's not an anime. I'm not saying Ex Machina's an anime, but yeah, that's why I put it together next to the anime. But anyway, Ex Machina stars Alicia Vikander and Domhnall Gleeson and Oscar Isaac. This was directed by the guy. I forgot his name. Very good movie. Very good. When I first heard about this movie and I saw the trailer, I was like, I need to watch this movie fast. Very good. Alicia Vikander is great in the movie. Domhnall Gleeson, Oscar Isaac. It's a very self-contained. the film takes place in only one location, so it's like it's an isolation. How would I describe it? An isolation science fiction thriller. That's how I would describe it. Um, yeah, man, this movie is very good. I highly recommend this movie. Oscar Isaac is great. Yeah. Hold up, I have a wedgie. I apologize. Okay, I don't have a wedgie. Oh, okay. Next film I have, Blade Runner, released in 1984, I believe. Same year as Tron, which we will get in a second. Get into in a second. This was directed by Ridley Scott, stars Harrison Ford and a whole bunch of other people. I love this movie. Excuse me. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. A lot of people don't like it because, they think it's too slow or pretentious or whatnot. But I love this movie. I think the acting is fantastic in the film. Harrison Ford's pretty good, even though he, I think the acting's fantastic, but Harrison Ford doesn't give. How is it? He gives a good performance, but I think the way he played it, I think no, like the way he played it was intentional. I mean, he's not the typical Harrison Ford that you see in Indiana Jones and in Star Wars and Han Solo, but he's very good in the movie as well, even though he. You know what? I take back everything. Harrison Ford's pretty good in this movie. Even though he doesn't play like the typical charismatic lead, it's intentional. His performance is intentional. He's very dry. He doesn't. He's very robotic, which might hint to something. But yeah, Harrison Ford's very good in this movie. But the acting's fantastic, I would say. Obviously the cinematography is amazing. The music is amazing. Just the whole by Vangelis, I believe that's the composer's name. They did the score, and it's amazing. The mixture of jazz and just the electronic music, and I love it. What's his name? Wait, what's his name? Rutger Hauer, who plays Roy Batty in the original film. He's amazing. He's so good in this movie. Especially, obviously, the most famous, one of the most famous monologues / speeches in film, Tears in the Rain. Such a beautiful performance. So sad and tragic. And especially that Tears in the Rain speech. So good. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Blade Runner. And I love the sequel, Blade Runner 2049. It's just as good. It's just as good as this film, or it's just as good as this film. Maybe better. Maybe a little bit better. But yeah, I love Blade Runner. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a third film. Highly doubt it. The second film didn't do good at the box office. It was like a box office disappointment, unfortunately. But a lot of people blame it on the marketing. Warner Brothers didn't market the film properly. But yeah, fingers crossed. Speaking of 1984, I mentioned Tron. I don't own the original classic, but I do own the sequel. Tron Legacy. one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Tron Legacy. I love Tron the original classic too, but I love Tron Legacy much more than the original. I think this movie is highly underappreciated. I think it's very underrated. One of the most underrated movies of all time, in my opinion. This movie is so good. I love this movie. I love the cinematography, the special effects. This was Joseph Kosinski's first movie, his directorial debut, and he does a great job with this movie. I think the acting's pretty damn good. Story, yeah, the story could have been better. Yeah, but that's it's not. That's not. It's not the main thing. It's really about the world of Tron and and the grid and it's more so about the it's more so about Tron and the grid and all of that. That's really what the original film was mainly about. The story in the original film wasn't like the greatest. Like Kevin Flynn needed to prove that he created the video games that he created, Space Paranoids, because Edward Dillinger Sr., like, he claimed it as his own, so he wanted to prove it, and then he went inside the grid. He went inside the grid accidentally because the MCP, dragged him into the grid. And that's where the story picks up. It's about Kevin Flynn helping Tron and Yori, trying to help the grid be a free place again. It's not the greatest story in the world, but it was. That's not. It wasn't. That wasn't the main draw. The main draw was the special effects, the world of the grid, the concept of programs and users, and I think this film goes far and beyond, more so than the original. Even though the original is a classic, of course, and it's very and visually is a very beautiful. The original visually is a very beautiful film, very unique. Uh, lots of colors. Very original. I just think Tron Legacy enhances the world of the grid, much more in a much more spectacular fashion. And I do think the story in this film is better than the one in the original because it was, like I said, it was Kevin Flynn. He needed to prove that he created these video games that someone else claimed as their own. And then he goes inside the grid and he helps Tron and Yori. He helps them to free the grid so that the grid can become a free place again. But really, what the main thing was, the main draw was the whole concept of the grid, of programs and users, the special effects, and it's just, yeah, man. And I think Tron Legacy, sure, the story could have been better. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. The acting could have been better, of course. I think the acting's good, but obviously the acting could have been better. But this film, I think this film is so great, and in other ways, in terms of special effects, and and the costume design and the atmosphere, the music, obviously by Daft Punk. Uh, you know, I would say in terms of characters as well. I mean, I love Cora. Olivia Wilde plays her brilliantly. Kevin Flynn is, people refer him as basically as he was basically like the Big Lebowski in this film. And I agree, he was more Zen-like, but I still really like it. I love the direction they took. They took him in. They took Kevin Flynn with, and yeah, I've seen analysis for this movie. People talking about the story and the themes of duality, and how a creator has one person who analyzed the film. They referred Kevin Flynn as a creator who was who whose creation grew past him or something like that. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, there are themes in that. Very strong themes, and of course, sorry, my camera cut out. Like I was saying, movie very good. There are themes. Obviously, someone mentioned that they should have focused more on the philosophical themes of the film. They should have focused more on the religious aspects and the philosophical aspects of the film, and the term, like the programs, seeing the users as gods and all that. And I agree. And hopefully, whenever Tron 3 gets greenlit, hopefully they do that. Hopefully they focus a bit more. Well, hopefully they focus more on the religious aspects and the more philosophical aspects of Tron and the concept of users and programs and all that. Yeah, I love this film. Good acting, great world building, great visual effects, great music, great production design, costume design, the atmosphere. I just love this movie, man. I really love this movie. It's not the greatest movie in the world, but I think it's highly underappreciated and underrated. And the story works. The story works, man. It's not the greatest story in the world, but the story works. I think the story is pretty good. And the father-son dynamic between Kevin Flynn and his son Sam Flynn is very emotional and relatable. It's relatable. I mean, obviously, I don't think a lot of people have had their father gone missing, but like it's it's relatable in a way, in terms of relationships between father and son. So yeah, yeah, and their love for one another. All right, I've talked enough about Tron and why I love it, but there it is. All right, next up, it's probably my biggest collection. My Marvel Cinematic Universe, my Marvel Cinematic Universe collection, and I'm very proud of it. I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I love superhero films, like I've mentioned, and I love all things Marvel. So, yeah. I'm not a comic book reader, so I haven't read, Marvel comics. I used to collect Spider-Man comics, but I never read them. I just looked at the pictures. I was younger. I was stupider. But yeah, this is my Marvel Cinematic Universe collection. I have, a bunch more. Got this one. As you can see, as you can tell. Yeah, I got so much. And also, I got other Marvel movies as well. All right, yeah, I have. Obviously, I don't own every Marvel Cinematic Universe film. I'm missing a couple: Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man: Far From Home. But I got almost all of them. Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, which I think is pretty underrated. Pretty underrated. I really like the movie. I saw it in theaters. I've seen almost every Marvel Cinematic Universe film. Obviously, I didn't watch the first Iron Man or Iron Man 2, but ever since the Avengers, the first Avengers movie, I've been seeing every Marvel movie ever since. But yeah, Iron Man 2, I showed you. Thor. A lot of these are on DVD, but hopefully I can upgrade them to Blu-ray. So here's that. Captain America: The First Avenger. Yeah, these movies are in chronological order. The Avengers, Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, um, one of the worst, if not worst, MCU movie. But it's still a fun time. I really like the movie, but yeah, could have been better. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Avengers: Infinity War. My favorite Avengers movie. I love Infinity War. I don't have Endgame yet. Yeah, like I said, I'm missing a bunch of movies. Spider-Man: Homecoming. Spider-Man's like my favorite superhero. Batman is number 2. Number 3 would have to be probably the Incredible Hulk. I don't know, probably. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I love the second one more than the first one. Controversial, yes. Doctor Strange, pretty good movie. That's probably the only MCU movie that I've rewatched a bunch of times. I don't know, could be wrong about that. Black Panther, very good movie, very good. It got nominated for Best Picture. First ever superhero movie to ever get nominated for Best Picture. Well-deserved nomination, I would say so. Should it have won? No, I don't think it should have won. But I definitely agree. It should have been nominated, and it was. But yeah, Ant-Man, pretty good superhero movie. Very fun and enjoyable. Thor Ragnarok, my favorite of the Thor franchise, and Captain America: Civil War, very good movie. I think Winter Soldier is my favorite of the trilogy, but yeah, Iron Man 3 would probably be my favorite of the Iron Man trilogy. I have so many favorites. Spider-Man: Far From Home is my favorite of the 2 Spider-Man movies that we've gotten. Mysterio is like awesome. Jake Gyllenhaal is awesome. Like, what else can I say? You know, it is Spider-Man: Far From Home is my favorite Spider-Man movie. It is. Speaking of Spider-Man, got I was given these two movies on my birthday. My aunt gave them to me for my birthday. Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, both on VHS. I love these movies. I love Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. They were directed by Sam Raimi, one of my favorite directors of all time, and Tobey Maguire plays Peter Parker / Spider-Man, and yeah. I think I would have to say Spider-Man 2 is my favorite of the original Raimi trilogy. Yeah, man. These movies are so good. I even like Spider-Man 3. I'm not gonna lie. Even though it's the worst of the trilogy, I think it's good. Not as good as the first 2. Absolutely not. It's like the Terminator trilogy. The first 2 are great. Number 3 is like, alright, it's okay. But, still a good time. Yeah. Oh, bootleg. I have a bootleg Daredevil, the first season. Bootleg Jessica Jones, the first season. The Netflix series are so good. Iron Fist season 1's like, the worst of the Netflix series. I love Jessica Jones, especially the first season. I was watching the second season of Jessica Jones, but then it was like episode 6. I stopped. I paused it. It's been like 3 years. I don't know. I just kind of got bored with it. To be honest, I kind of got bored. But then I need to get back. I need to get back to it. I've seen all 3 seasons of Daredevil. I love Luke Cage, the Netflix series. I love Luke Cage. He's one of my favorite superheroes of all time. Luke Cage. Seen both seasons. I've seen the first season of Iron Fist and the first 4 episodes of Iron Fist season 2. Yeah, I like Finn Jones as Iron Fist. The first season he was just very very arrogant. Maybe that was intentional. I think it was. So yeah, Logan, one of the best superhero movies of all time. I love Logan. It's a superhero western basically. Um, yeah, man, I love Logan, man. Wolverine, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is amazing. He's great. Um, I'm gonna miss him, but let's see whoever gets cast as Wolverine. This is a great send off to his character, Wolverine, and yeah, man, I saw it in theaters, and it was it was sad. It was sad to see him for the last time. Uh, yeah, great movie, great superhero movie, great movie in general. A great western also. Very gritty, very violent. Great, great, powerful acting. James Mangold does a great job with the film, a fantastic job, and yeah, man. Yeah. Uh, Deadpool. I have the second one. I don't know where it is, so it's somewhere. Deadpool. It's been Ryan Reynolds' ultimate. This is Ryan Reynolds' movie, basically. I love Ryan Reynolds. He's another one of my favorite actors. And he's great as Deadpool. He was born to be Deadpool. He is Deadpool, man. He's just Deadpool. I love Deadpool. I did not get to see the first movie in theaters. I saw the second one in theaters. Um, hey, sorry, my cat. But this is a very good movie. Very good movie. I like the second one a bit more than the first one. Tim Miller, who I believe this is his directorial debut, and hey, no, sorry, I believe this was his directorial. Oh my goodness. I believe this was his directorial debut, and stop it. No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very good performances. Funny, action packed. A very original superhero movie. Yeah. So yeah, I have Deadpool 2. I really like it. Ryan Reynolds and Josh Brolin's chemistry is awesome. Action pack. Cable's awesome. Deadpool's awesome as always. Cast is awesome. Colossal is awesome. Colossus, I mean, sorry, is awesome. But yeah. Speaking of X-Men Origins Wolverine, this is a guilty pleasure movie of mine. Obviously, it's the worst X-Men movie, but I like it. I have terrible taste. Speaking of terrible taste, I think The Amazing Spider-Man, directed by Mark Webb, I think it's a pretty good Spider-Man movie. Amazing Spider-Man 2, visually is beautiful. The chemistry between Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone is awesome. But yeah, this is a convoluted movie. Terrible villains. I think Dane DeHaan's a bit, better than Electro, but still not great. Andrew Garfield is amazing as Spider-Man, and sadly, this was his last Spider-Man movie. But who knows? Maybe if they make a live-action Spider-Verse movie, he might come back. But yeah, I mean, I like it, but it's not great. The first one is better than the second one, for sure. Oh, and for those that haven't seen the movie, the ending of this film is pretty sad, pretty ballsy. Yeah. All right. Last Marvel movies that I have. Well, yeah, X-Men: The Last Stand. I like this movie. I do. It's the worst of the trilogy, but I do like it. yeah, cool action. Not as not a great movie in general. Good performances, but it's missing that I don't know how to describe it. That the charm of the first two movies, the more the more the more intricacies. I don't know how to say that word. Because the first two movies were very. I mean, this movie deals with a cure to the mutants and all that, but I think it was missing. You know, it was missing something. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it's not like the first two films. Yeah. Oh, and a lot of characters die in that movie. Significant characters. Ghost Rider, starring Nicolas Cage, the lovely and badass Nicolas Cage, and Eva Mendes. I like this movie as well. It's a guilty pleasure. Ghost Rider, I mean, he's crazy. I mean, if you're getting Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider, you're gonna get a crazy Ghost Rider. Yeah. The second film is just awful, but it's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine as well. And Nicolas Cage gets even crazier in that film. Yeah, I like it. Daredevil, one of the most controversial superhero movies of all time because, people aren't sure whether they should like it or not. I like it. It's a pretty moody film, but it's very 2000, very 2000s. They have music from 2000s, from the 2000s where like it's very emo. It's very emo like. Ben Affleck is pretty good as Daredevil. He's no Charlie Cox. Um, yeah. There's a bunch of people in it. Jennifer Garner is in it. Colin Farrell, who plays Bullseye, he's very cheesy in that role. Can't wait to see him as the Penguin on the Batman. But yeah, I like it. It's like a guilty pleasure movie of mine. Michael Duncan, I believe that's his name. Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah, pretty good. From what I remember, because I haven't seen this movie in a long time. From what I remember, he's pretty good in the movie, Michael Clark Duncan. But yeah, that's that. Have more VHSs. This is my mom's. If you're into Mexican cinema, like the old black and white films, yeah, with Tintan and Resortes and Clavillazo and Viruta y Capulina and of course Cantinflas. Yeah, these are fun movies, man. They're funny. They're very charming. Yeah, another one of my mom's. But I also watch them. I mean, I haven't seen them in years, but I used to watch them all the time. Another one of my mom's. SpongeBob, my favorite cartoon character of all time. This has the episodes where he like goes into like a coma, or he gets knocked out, and then he imagines himself in the medieval times. I love SpongeBob. These are funny episodes. They're good. I love SpongeBob. I don't watch it as much as I used to, but if I ever watch a SpongeBob episode, I'm gonna have a good time. I just love SpongeBob. He's my favorite character of all time, and I don't think have I said it. Yeah, what they're doing with the property, they're doing spin-offs, a Patrick Star spin-off, a Squidward spin-off. It's like uh, they're doing spin-off where they're younger. I mean, all right, but like, why? We don't need a Patrick spin-off or Squidward spin-off. They work as an ensemble. Anyway, that's enough of a rant. Rush Hour. Uh, One more thing for the SpongeBob. A lot of people, they say a lot of people are saying that Nickelodeon are disrespecting Steven Hillenberg's legacy, and I agree. They are. Sorry, enough. Rush Hour, one of my favorite movies of all time, and it stars Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. They have great chemistry with one another. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker are so funny together. Jackie Chan is awesome as always. Chris Tucker is awesome and funny as always. This is one of my favorite, if not my favorite buddy cop movie. Um, this is my favorite of the trilogy. Rush Hour 2 is pretty good. Rush Hour 3, I really like that movie. I think it's pretty funny. I saw that one in the theaters. Man, it was pretty uncomfortable because I saw it with my dad. Because they were, yeah. But yeah, I love Rush Hour. Such a funny movie. One of my favorite comedies of all time. But yeah. Okay. All right. Before I get to that, I forgot to show this. No Country for Old Men, starring Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, and Tommy Lee Jones. Great Western film directed by the Coen brothers. Pretty good movie, man. Josh Brolin is amazing. Javier Bardem, he's freaking fantastic in this film. Tommy Lee Jones is great in it as well. Great cinematography. Just it's a great cat and mouse thriller. But yeah, this is a very good movie. Check it out. Another very good movie, Brick, directed by Rian Johnson. I believe this is his first film, his directorial debut. It stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt and a whole bunch of other people. Very good movie. Very good crime mystery, murder mystery film. Of course, Rian Johnson is like a master in that genre, and like the murder mystery type stuff. Yeah, man, just very good movie. I highly recommend that movie. What? Oh. Super Mario Bros. These are, this is the animated Mario show. I love Mario. He's my favorite video game character of all time. I'm a huge fan of the Super Mario Bros. Live action movie. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. It's a terrible movie, but I have such a good time with it. Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, they hate that movie, but I really like that movie. Yeah, man. I like the anime shows. It's good. But yeah, if you're interested in like animated shows based off video game characters, I would recommend Sonic X, or there was this Kirby show. I would recommend, of course, Pokemon. If not Pokemon, yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Getting close to the end. All right. Chef. I got this at where did I get it? Family Dollar. Oh, what's the name of that store? Family Dollar. I don't know. It's for $2. Chef. I love this movie. So good. Directed by Jon Favreau, who directed Iron Man and Elf and a whole bunch of other movies. The Jungle Book and The Lion King. Yeah, man, this movie's so good. This is the best food movie ever. Jon Favreau's great in it. John Leguizamo's great in it as well. Excuse me. The cast is great. Great acting. Very fun movie. It's a road trip movie basically. But it's very fun. I highly recommend it as well. I recommend a lot of movies. What is this? I forgot about this. The Social Network. I forgot I own this. This is the Social Network. Smells weird. Okay. Yeah. David Fincher, directed by David Fincher, stars Jesse Eisenberg and Andrew Garfield. Great movie, great acting, great direction, great cinematography, just great all around. Who knew that a movie based based off Facebook would be so good? Because it is. It's very interesting. Okay. It's very interesting. It's yeah, you're just invested. And yeah, and David Fincher, another one of my favorite directors. He's made so many films, so many great films. Zodiac, I mean, one of my favorite movies of all time. So good. That movie's so good. Um, I mean, he made Alien 3, which I like, but it's definitely not his best film. He's made Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Gone Girl, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, that I can't remember right now because I have terrible memory. Okay, okay. The Edge of 17, starring Haley Steinfeld and Woody Harrelson. Very good coming of age movie. Very relatable, especially for people just dealing with teenage angst and stuff. Very relatable movie. Very funny, emotional as well. Woody Harrelson is so funny in this movie. So funny in this movie. Haley Steinfeld is great in it as well. Yeah, man, I watched this when I was in high school, and it's relatable. What more can I say? Yeah, it's a good movie. Speaking of high school, Boy Meets World. I've only have two DVDs of Boy Meets World. Uh, Boy Meets World is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. So relatable. For It was very relatable. Of course, I was in high school. And yeah, man, this is about Corey Matthews and his friends, about growing up in the world, and the hardships that they come across. Can't even speak. The hardships that they come across with. Yeah, Boy Meets World is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It's on Disney Plus. But by the series. Girl Meets World. I've seen the first season. I really like it. I haven't seen all three seasons. I think I've seen a couple episodes of season two. But yeah, I love Boy Meets World. Um, how did I forget his name? Ben Savage. He's great as Corey Matthews. Ryder Strong is great as Sean, and very relatable. Obviously, I relate the most to Corey. Obviously, I mean, it's not obvious, but I relate a lot to Corey, and there's a lot of parallels to Corey, and you know, I I'm I saw a lot of parallels between the show and myself. It's weird. Not really. It's pretty cool actually. Yeah. Will Friedle. He's so funny and hilarious. As Eric Matthews, who Eric Matthews, one of my favorite characters of all time. Will Friedle, one of my favorite actors of all time. He's so funny. This is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay. Next up is Paper Towns, directed by someone. I Who directed this? I don't know. It stars Nat Wolf and Devlin Cara Delevingne. I butchered her last name. I probably butchered her whole name. Good movie. It's a good movie. Not as good as The Fault in Our Stars. Obviously, this was based on another of what's his name? One of Green Steve, not Steve Green. What from the author? What's the author's name? John Green. Obviously, it's based off of John Green's book Paper Towns, and he was the author of The Fault in Our Stars. I think The Fault in Our Stars is a better film than Paper Towns, but it's still a pretty good movie. I enjoy it. Nat Wolff is good. You know, the cast is good. But yeah. Yeah, it's good. Good movie. Rumblefish, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Yes, I was right. And it stars Matt Dillon and Mickey Rourke and Nicolas Cage as well, and a whole bunch of other people. Very good movie. Very underrated movie. People did not like this movie. I read the book in middle school, and I remember really liking the book. I think I read the book. Pretty sure I did. We had to read The Outsiders and Rumblefish as well. By S.E. Hinton. Hanton was the author's name. S.E. Hinton. See, I was right. Yeah, I like this movie much more than The Outsiders. Even though The Outsiders is a pretty good movie as well. I think this is better. Visually, this movie is beautiful. The cinematography is beautiful. The acting is beautiful. Like the book. The book is pretty good as well. Yeah, what Francis Ford Coppola did, because Motorcycle Boy, he's colorblind. So the whole film is in black and white, and the few instances where there's color, it's just like it's very well done. I had very good movie. I highly recommend it. All right, I think that is it. Yeah, I think that's it. Wait, no, just a couple of things. Okay. Futurama. I do own Futurama. Wait, did I show this already? I'm not sure. It's been quite a while. This is volume 3. I love Futurama. Good show, very unique, very different from The Simpsons. This was co-created by Matt Groening and someone else. I forgot their name. I'm sorry. Very funny show. Unique, obviously, and yeah, man. Bender, Fry, Leela, Professor Farnsworth. Great cast, funny characters. Yeah, I highly recommend you check out Futurama. If you love The Simpsons, Futurama is a good show. Before Rick and Morty, there was Futurama. So, there's that. All right, that will do it for me. I want to thank you for joining me on this excruciating journey through my film and TV show collection. I have a lot of movies, or it seems like I have a lot of movies. Maybe I just talk too long. That's probably it. Thank you all for joining me. I had a wonderful time doing this. This was fun. I'm happy that I'm finally able to share my movie collection, and because I love movies, and and hopefully one day I can make films as well, because that's a dream of mine. And thank you all for watching, and till next time, I guess. Catch you later.